It was the kind of winter night when even the wind seemed to forget how to move. I had just put out the fire when someone knocked softly on my door once, then again, slower. When I opened it, a stranger stood there, holding a single candle. Before the light flickered out, he whispered my father's name. I had returned to my late father's home after years away. The neighbors said the place hadn't been the same since he vanished one snowy night 20 years ago. I had come only to sort his things and sell the property. But when that man appeared at my door, everything changed. His voice carried something I hadn't heard in years, the echo of unfinished truth. Snow drifted soundlessly across the porch as I unlatched the door. A man stood there, tall, shoulders dusted in white, his breath forming clouds in the frozen air. He did not ask to come in, nor explain why he was there. His eyes lingered on me for a moment before he whispered, "You should have left the house dark." Then, just as quietly as he arrived, he turned and disappeared into the snow. I stood frozen, the candlelight flickering across my hands, wondering, why would a stranger bring light to my door only to tell me it didn't belong there? I placed the candle on the kitchen table, its glow barely pushing back the winter darkness. The house was silent except for the slow ticking of the wall clock. The same clock my father had wound every night before he died. The stranger's words echoed in my mind, twisting through the still air. "You should have left the house dark." For hours, I sat staring at that fragile light, feeling as though it was watching me back. The flame bent and straightened, as if breathing. Once, it flickered so violently that I thought it might go out, but then steadied, glowing stronger than before. It was strange, but I could swear the light smelled faintly of my father's old tobacco. Could it be that the man knew something about him? Or worse, had been sent by him? The next morning, the frost on the windows had not melted. I brewed tea to chase away the cold, but the house felt heavier than ever, as if something unseen had moved in overnight. When I opened the drawer beneath the kitchen table to find a spoon, I noticed an old photograph lying there, one I had never seen before. The photograph held secrets of the past, waiting to be uncovered, and with it, the candle's light flickered, as if urging me to remember. It showed my father standing beside a man whose face was half in shadow. Behind him, a single candle burned on the same table I now sat at. My father's eyes, even frozen in the picture, seemed uneasy, almost afraid. The back of the photograph had faint writing in pencil, "Winter of 1962, do not forget." A chill ran down my spine. The stranger's face from last night. Could it be the same man in the photograph? That night, the storm returned. Wind scraped against the windows like fingernails. I tried to sleep, but a faint sound beneath the wooden floorboards kept pulling me back to wakefulness. At first, I told myself it was the wind. But then came a soft knock, 3 times, steady, deliberate, from under the floor. My chest tightened. I followed the sound to the center of the room, where the candle's light trembled. For a moment, everything went silent until I whispered my father's name. Then, faintly, something whispered it back. Was it the wind playing tricks on me, or had something beneath the house just answered? Morning brought no comfort. The house looked calm, but it felt wrong, like a stage left behind after a play no one finished. I could not stop thinking about the noise beneath the floor. So, with trembling hands, I moved the kitchen table aside and began tapping the boards, one by one. Near the candle's spot, I heard a hollow sound. I pried the plank open, and inside was a small wooden box wrapped in a piece of cloth so old it crumbled at my touch. Inside the box lay 3 things: a rusted key, a folded note, and a dried white rose. The note was written in my father's handwriting, shaky, uneven. "If you find this, do not light the candle twice." My throat tightened. What had he meant? And why had he hidden it here, beneath the very place the stranger told me to leave in darkness? I sat by the window for hours, staring at the note. The candle, still unlit, rested on the table beside it. Snow pressed against the glass, soft and endless, like time itself had slowed to watch me decide. My father's handwriting had always been steady, confident, until those final words. Something, or someone, had terrified him. That night, I finally opened the folded paper again. Beneath the warning, faintly visible in the light, were smudges, fingerprints maybe, and another line, almost erased. "He comes when the flame remembers." The words made no sense, yet every syllable felt familiar, like a memory I could not reach. By evening, the storm had grown heavier, burying the fields in silence. I stepped outside, clutching the candle, the key, and the note. The world looked drained of color, just white and gray, the wind whispering between the trees. As I reached the old barn, I heard it again, that low voice, half carried by the wind, calling my father's name. It was not human. It was too slow, too calm, like someone speaking from beneath the earth. I froze, my breath hanging in the air like smoke. Then, faintly, I saw footprints, not mine, leading toward the forest path behind the barn. A soft scratching came from the corner, subtle, almost polite, like someone trying not to wake the house. I held my breath, listening as the candle flickered, throwing long, quivering shadows along the floorboards. Then, a whisper, "You finally came." It was familiar and strange all at once. Was it the stranger, my father, or a memory given voice by the wind? And what had been waiting for me here all these years? At dawn, the snow lay untouched around the house, a smooth white blanket hiding the world's edges. I returned to the hidden room, my candle now almost burned down. I noticed a small envelope tucked beneath the journal. The paper was stiff with frost, as if it had been waiting outside for decades before finding its way inside. I carefully opened it and unfolded a letter in my father's familiar handwriting. The words were brief, deliberate, "Forgive me. I could not stay. The man you saw, he is the key." A chill ran through me, stronger than the winter outside. The stranger, the candle, the hidden room, it all suddenly felt like part of a design I could not yet understand. Who was the man, and what had my father left unresolved with him? And why had it taken so long for the truth to reach me? By mid-morning, the house seemed to hold its breath. I stepped onto the porch, the candle nearly spent in my hand, and saw the stranger standing at the edge of the snow-covered field. His face was shadowed, older and wearier than the night he first appeared, yet his eyes held a quiet urgency. He spoke softly, almost to himself. "He forgave me long ago." Then, without another word, he turned and walked slowly into the drifted snow, disappearing like a shadow swallowed by winter. The candle's flame guttered and finally died, leaving only silence and the faint scent of tobacco lingering in the air, my father's scent. I realized then that the stranger had never come for me, the house, or even the candle. He had come to deliver a message, a bridge between the past and the present. And for the first time in decades, I felt the quiet release of understanding, forgiveness, and the end of waiting. The snow continued to fall softly, blanketing the world in silence. Each flake a whisper, each gust of wind a memory. In this moment, I was free. The whispers in the snow would guide me forward.